The flames danced in his eyes like echoes of a life left behind. Morgan Freeman stood in the middle of his own front yard, cool as ice, watching his sprawling mansion get swallowed by fire. The heat licked at his face, but he didn't flinch, didn't blink, didn't panic. The blaze roared, tearing through oak paneling, antique furniture, and the library's book collection, pages curling into ash like memories he decided to erase himself. Just minutes earlier, he'd moved through the house like a man on a mission, splashing gasoline in every room. His footsteps left a glossy trail across the pricey marble floors. The sharp stench of fuel cut through the air, mingling with the faint whiff of old cigars and whiskey that had soaked into those walls over decades. He paused in his study, fingers brushing over the spines of books. Shakespeare, Hemingway, Baldwin. His legacy. His past. Then he struck the match. That tiny flame flickered, fragile, almost innocent, until he let it drop. Whoosh. A serpent of fire raced up the stairs, exploded across the walls, and clawed at the curtains like some wild beast let loose. Morgan stepped back, his shadow looming huge against the glow, and let out a deep, steady breath. Outside, it was still quiet. This posh Hollywood enclave wasn't built for chaos. No screams, no blaring music, no sudden bursts of life. Just manicured lawns, silent electric cars, and secrets tucked neatly out of sight. Until now. The first shout cracked the silence from a neighboring house. Oh my God! Fire! Linda Carver, a washed-up soap opera star who'd spent her twilight years spying on the block from behind her curtains, was the first to spot it. Seconds later, windows in nearby mansions lit up. Doors creaked open, and people stumbled out in robes and pajamas, shivering in the night chill. A barefoot woman darted down the street, phone pressed to her ear. A guy in striped PJs yelled at his kids to run to the car. Sirens sliced through the stillness. Stay back. Don't go near the house, the neighborhood security guard bellowed, shoving people away. But Morgan Freeman didn't budge. He stood there, calm, fearless. Neighbors whispered, their faces flickering in the firelight. Did he get out in time? Where's Morgan? Is that him? Suddenly, Linda Carver, panting from her sprint, thrust out a shaky hand and pointed to the front yard. Morgan Freeman was right there, in plain sight, just watching it all burn. Morgan! A guy in a tracksuit bolted toward him, grabbing his shoulder. What the hell happened? You okay? Freeman turned his head slowly. That deep, iconic voice rolled out, almost hypnotic. It had to be done. Dead silence fell. In that moment, everyone knew this wasn't an accident. The firefighters were still battling the blaze when the first reporters screeched onto the scene. Click, click, click. Camera flashes lit up the night, blending with the orange glow of the fire. News crews spilled out of vans, sprinting toward the chaos. Mr. Freeman, one journalist yelled, charging straight at him. Is it true you set the house on fire? Morgan didn't back off. That legendary voice came steady and clear, silencing the crowd. Yes, I did it. It hit like a bombshell. People froze. Even the reporters, always hungry for a scoop, couldn't believe their ears. What? Are you for real? But why? Before he could answer, the neighbors pounced. Are you insane? The tracksuit guy shouted, the same one who tried to save him earlier. There were kids here. My kids were sleeping next door. They could have died. A woman screeched, fist clenched tight. My CAR, another neighbor, red-faced with rage, jabbed a finger at his smoldering garage. My Ferrari's toast because of you, Morgan. They shoved in closer, circling him. Someone even reared back to swing, but security stepped in. Cops tried to break up the mob, but it was no use. Then a new voice cut through the madness. What the hell is going on here? A black limo screeched up to the curb. The door flew open. And out stormed the town mayor. His white dress shirt was pristine, but the collar was unbuttoned, his face flushed with fury. Freeman, have you lost your damn mind? He marched right up to Morgan, jabbing a finger into his chest. I'll have you locked up for this. On what grounds? Morgan didn't even blink. The mayor gritted his teeth. You almost torched half the neighborhood. I'll drag you to court myself. You're a danger to society. But Morgan just stared him down. I set fire to my own house dash dot. The mayor clenched his fists, and he knew he was stuck. Morgan hadn't broken a single law. He had every right to burn his own property if he damn well pleased. The cops couldn't touch him, and that drove the mayor up the wall even more. You've wrecked this town. You've trashed your own reputation. Morgan just smirked. I'm not done yet. And that one line sent a chill through everyone, colder than the fire had been hot. The next morning, With smoke still curling up from the charred ruins of his mansion, Morgan Freeman stood in the middle of the wreckage. He stared at the ashes, the blackened bones of walls that had been his life just a day ago. But there wasn't a trace of regret in his eyes. He's lost it. What's he up to now? Neighbors and reporters still couldn't wrap their heads around it. The mayor couldn't hide his rage either. He didn't just want to punish Morgan, he had his own scheme brewing. Years back, Morgan had flat out said he wouldn't leave his house to his family. That lit a spark in the mayor's head, a sneaky little plan. Once Morgan kicked the bucket, the house would fall into the city's hands. Then the authorities could sell it off for a fortune or slap something profitable on the land. But here's the kicker, Morgan never said who he'd leave it to. The mayor thought he had it all locked down. What he didn't see coming. Morgan always knew he wouldn't live forever. His life had been long, packed with fame, but he refused to let his house turn into some soulless corporate cash grab after he was gone. He had a different dream. That mansion? He wanted it to become a haven for the elderly, a place where forgotten seniors could find comfort and care. But there was a hitch. Rezoning the land and redesigning the house wouldn't fly with the mayor's agenda. The guy blocked Morgan at every turn. So Morgan made a call to change the land's purpose. He'd have to tear down the old house and build a new. And that's exactly what he did. He outplayed the mayor before the guy even knew the game was on. Over the next few months, Morgan cleared the rubble. Then came the big move. Construction kicked off in a major way. When it was done, everyone saw it. A massive new estate, not some private palace, but a stunning home for the elderly. Its walls buzzed with life. Light, warmth, and care filled the place. Morgan had built a spot where seniors could live out their years with dignity, never feeling abandoned. He didn't stop there either. He fixed up his neighbor's garage and bought the guy a brand new car. By the time the project wrapped, the mayor was livid. He got nothing. No control. No profit. No leverage. And the worst part for him? That wasn't even the kicker. People loved Morgan more than ever now. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't a criminal. He'd just rewritten the rules. And won. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment. Would you have the guts to pull off a move this bold?